Distinguished guests, respected speakers and moderators, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second day of the third ICMA-SURE 2020. A very good morning to all of us, and I think we would like to thank all participants for the willingness to still attend this conference since day one until today. And how are you, Mbak Ruri?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Mbak Indri?
I'm good, thank you. And I also see happy faces here and also motivated participants. Hopefully we can attend until the end of the conference today. And to inform and remind you as well, we have shared the presence link of today's plenary session available on Zoom chat room. And later on, by the end of this parallel session, there will be an announcement of best poster and best presenter. So make sure you can attend this conference until the end of the day. And I think we still have one plenary session.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
This is our last plenary session, the third one.
Oh, and before we start, what do you think we should do?
We should
As
invite the
usual,
moderator
yeah. Okay, inviting moderator
and have the photo shoot.
okay, that's one.
Is it a
of
photo shoot or photo screen? Yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, we will have a group photo session for this morning, since I still see fresh faces. And please make sure that you have put your camera on and also put your smile.
Yeah, the best smile.
Best smile. All right, and we're still waiting for the host. Screen one is
Screen.
ready. Screen
Yes.
one is ready. Okay, smile everyone. Cheers.
Awesome.
Good.
The next
okay, we're
screen.
going to screen two. Screen two. Okay,
Yes.
1, 2, 3. All right.
Everyone looks so charming today.
Sure.
Right.
They look fresh.
Full of
Okay,
energy.
Hopefully they have had
Okay.
their breakfast.
The
Okay,
third
screen
good.
3. All right, screen
Right.
4. Smile. Ah,
Awesome.
thumbs up.
Yes. 2 thumbs up will be good.
Okay.
Yes.
And
you.
then the last screen. Last screen.
Yes.
Okay, I think we have had all participants on screen. All right. Thank you, everyone.
very much.
And we're going to.
Have our third plenary session.
Okay.
Okay. Should we invite the moderators?
Sure.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was such an honor for us today to be the host. We have a prominent to become your MC. And Of course, we have a prominent international speakers on the first day of ICMA-SURE 2020. And today, on the second day, for our plenary session 3, there will be another exceptional speakers who would also like to share their expertise with us. And before we invite the moderator, allow me to read his curriculum vitae. So he is a PhD in quantitative genetics of animal science, and he is now teaching in the Faculty of Animal Science, Universitas Jenderal Sudirman. Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite him on screen, Dr. Agus Susanto.
Okay, good morning everybody. And ladies and gentlemen, also the respected speakers for the last plenary session of today on the third ICMA-SURE. I think everybody is excited to listen and hear what the speakers will talk about. For the first turn, we will have Professor Ilsu Moon, and then followed by Dr. Pan Yu, and then last one is Dr. Wahyu Iswandari. So before we get started, I would like to display or broadcast or read the curriculum vitae for the speakers. Professor Ilsu Moon.
Hello. Yeah, may I start?
Professor Ilsu Moon.
Hi.
Before we get started, I also would like to greet the respected speakers. Professor Ilsu Moon, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Professor. So, may I start?
Hang on, Professor. We will read your curriculum vitae to the audience and the participants. Yeah. I just would like to greet you. What is the weather now in Korea?
It's still warm, not very cold. But today we have a light rain.
Okay, it's almost similar like in here, Purwokerto. But the temperature is not that cold. Yeah. Okay. I heard that you will present like a combination between a recorded one and live one, right?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay. So this is the curriculum vitae for the first speaker on the third plenary, Professor Ilsu Moon. Okay, I got some problem reading the screen, so I would like to read this curriculum vitae of Professor Ilsu Moon. So his education is in Department of Agriculture Chemistry, I'm sorry if I pronounce it incorrectly.
Gyeongbuk National University.
Gyeongbuk National University, yeah, Korea, in 1977-1981. And then Department of Microbiology, College of Natural Sciences, Seoul National University, 1981-1983. And then the PhD is from the Department of Biology, University of New Brunswick, Canada. Yeah. 1986-1991, and then postdoctoral in California Institute of Technology, 1991-94. I think there are a lot if I read all of them, so I would like to skip some. I apologize for that. The professional competence of the Professor Ilsu Moon, 2020 as a journal guest editor in Marine Drugs, special issue macroalgae derived bioactive molecule, and then natural nootropic products based on marine algae and traditional folk medicine and others. The professional activities from 2006 until present, Professor Ilsu Moon is the professor in Department of Anatomy, College of Medicine, Dongguk University, Korea. And then the academic achievement, the latest one, 2016, was the Grand Prix in Academic Achievement, Dongguk Medical Center, Dongguk University School of Marine. And I understand that you would like to present something that I think will be of interest all of us, the neurodegenerative disease that maybe most of us will experience, but maybe we wouldn't want to have it. So, do you will operate your recorded presentation?
Yes, yes, I will control over the video.
Okay, you will control everything, Professor. That's good.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, without being further ado, I would like to present Professor Ilsu Moon for the first speaker in the third plenary session. Please, Professor Ilsu Moon.
Okay. So everybody, can you see the slide?
Yes.
Yeah, good. I prepared this audio embedded PPT files because it's more convenient for me to present. And I'm very glad to be a speaker in this honorable conference. So I will start the audio embedded slide.
I don't have any sound coming up, Professor?
Yes, yes. Can't you hear?
Not yet. I think you should, if not, you should share your sound computers, Professor.
Oh, you cannot hear the sound?
Not yet.
Oh,
have you turned on the sound computer?
Okay. Let's use another one.
Okay, or actually we can. Or you want to try the other one? Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear now?
Not yet. I'm sorry. Not yet. We can actually broadcast your recorded one from here, from the studio for you, Professor. Then you can just let us know if you want to interrupt in some phases.
Okay, can you play there then?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, this is more convenient. And then you, if necessary, just let us know to interrupt.
Okay.
To pause.
Okay.
Yeah. Could you please stop share screen from your computer?
Stop. Okay.
Okay, now we are going to broadcast your recorded one.
Hi, everybody. I am Ilsu.
Yes. Can you?
Yeah, I hear.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Honored to
okay, please, Professor.
In this great, the third ICMA-SURE International Conference, and sincerely thank Chair Professor Maria Dianu Mainita and the organizing. Is this going okay? Today, I will talk.
Whenever you need, just let us know or say pause if you would like to explain some more.
In short, NDD amid COVID-19 pandemic. This is the content of my talk. I will describe first the physiological hallmark of NDD, then explain pharmacological and non-pharmacological intervention to manage NDD. Neurodegenerative disorders are major underlying causes of dementia in the elderly, and the number of dementia patients is ever increasing as life expectancy increases. The situation is even worsened in the COVID-19 pandemic. Existing anti-dementia drugs pose many adverse effects, so pharmacological intervention through naturally occurring agents may serve as an alternative method alongside non-pharmacological interventions such as cognitive and motor rehabilitation. occupational therapy, psychological therapy, and care farm need to be explored. Worldwide, around 50 million people have dementia, and there are nearly 10 million new cases every year. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia and may contribute to 60 to 70% of the cases. Dementia has a physical, psychological, social, and economic damage, not only on the affected people, but also on their families and even the society at large. The pathological hallmark of NDD is the accumulation of misfolded proteins in the brain. The aggregated proteins are denatured and lead to neurotoxicity. The immunocytochemical and immunohistochemical images on the right show the protein aggregated in the brain neurons. The large aggregates are named Lewy body after the founder Fritz Jakob Heinrich Lewy in the Alois Alzheimer laboratory in Germany. The specific misfolded protein or genetic mechanism underlies and determines the type of NDD, which can be caused by many stimuli such as genetic mutations, cellular aging, pH and ionic strength, and oxidative stress due to excitotoxicity and immune activation. This table shows NDD causing proteins. Protein aggregation causes neurodegeneration, which is another common hallmark to all neurodegenerative diseases. Massive neuronal deaths follow neurodegeneration unless it is reversed. Luckily, neurodegeneration is reversible. Many adverse conditions such as aging, reactive oxygen species, lack of growth factors, and hormones, stress alongside with genetic factors cause neurodegeneration. We need to reverse this progress by pharmacological and non-pharmacological intervention. As I mentioned before, there are very diverse reasons to cause accumulation of toxic protein aggregates. However, the removal process is relatively very simple. The denatured proteins are cleared by protein surveillance system, which comprises chaperone, ubiquitin proteasome protein degradation system, and agricome autophagy system. The balance between production and clearance of denatured protein determine cellular health. If denatured and aggregated proteins are not cleared, the neurons degenerate and we get NDD. So far, researchers in the academy and pharmaceutical companies focused on stopping the production of toxic proteins. However, about 10 years ago, Mowenega et al. Already reported that the clearance system is damaged in Alzheimer patients. This graph and statistics show that the production rate of A-beta is same in both healthy person and patient. The difference is the removal rate, which is defected in AD patient. Because neurodegenerative disorders are multifactorial diseases, the proper management of NDD require multidisciplinary approach, including pharmacological and non-pharmacological interventions. While these approaches are individually inadequate, their combination, this is important, their combination hold clinical prospect against NDD. Of neuroprotective agents, natural compounds, especially phytochemicals, offer promising alternatives to synthetic chemicals. As an example of phytochemicals, I will first show cannabidiol in reversing proteinopathy. Proteinopathy means diseases caused by protein aggregates. Cannabidiol is a phenolic derivative natural product. In this review article, which is accepted and in press in Aging Research Review, we pointed out that cannabidiol can boost proteostasis through diverse signaling pathway. Proteostasis is the dynamic regulation of a balanced functional proteome, and cannabidiol reduces oxidative stress and neuroinflammation of the brain. Cannabidiol also modulates protein clearance system and inhibit calcium-induced protein misfolding. This slide shows that cannabidiol functions as a PPAR gamma agonist. Cannabidiol binds to PPAR gamma and goes into the nucleus and induces genes of anti-inflammatory mediators. In the right side of this slide, it is shown that cannabidiol blocks J and K phosphorylation. This phosphorylation results in decreased inflammatory response and oxidative stress. This slide shows that cannabidiol functions as a PPAR gamma agonist. Cannabidiol binds to PPAR gamma and goes into the nucleus and induces genes of anti-inflammatory mediators. On the right side of the slide, it is shown that cannabidiol in the complex with PPAR gamma blocks J and K phosphorylation. Blocking of J and K phosphorylation results in the decreased inflammatory response and in the decreased oxidative stress. In the cases of hypoxia and ischemia, neurons are overstimulated by too much release of glutamate neurotransmitter. At the neuronal synapses, cannabidiol prevents overexcitation of glutamatergic synapses by blocking opening of NMDA receptors. NMDA receptor is the major calcium channel in the postsynaptic spine. Cannabidiol also blocks voltage-gated calcium channels. Overexcitation causes too much influx of calcium into neurons. Too much calcium induces ROS, mitochondrial dysfunction, and also ER stress. The ER stress must be reduced to keep the neurons healthy. Cannabidiol can induce anti-ER stress genes and promote autophagy to prevent cell damage. Removal of protein aggregates by autophagy reduces or eliminates ER stress. In summary, cannabidiol promotes signaling pathways which reduce reactive oxygen species, ER stress, overexcitation of the neuron, and finally inflammation. From now on, I will summarize briefly the pharmacological and non-pharmacological interventions to manage NDD. Pharmacological intervention is categorized into those natural compounds that activate antioxidant defense and those that activate protein clearance system. I will mention non-pharmacological intervention too in the end of the slide. As examples of phenolic compounds that activate antioxidation defense, sulforaphane, resveratrol, anthocyanin, and T-polyphenols are illustrated here. They generally suppress ROS production or apoptosis. There are also many non-phenolic natural compounds which also suppress ROS production of excitation and inflammation. I will not explain these compounds in detail. This table lists such natural compounds. In the following 3 slides, I will show natural compounds which activate protein clearance systems. First, I will illustrate phenolic compounds. On the right upper corner of the slide, it shows that the oleocanthal enhances A-beta clearance through P-glycoprotein and LRP1. P-glycoprotein and LRP1 are the major A-beta transport proteins at the blood-brain barrier. The second phytochemical, aleuropane, activates autophagy while it suppresses oxidative stress and inflammation. The third one, camperol, on the bottom left, shows that it is an autophagy enhancer. There are many non-phenolic natural compounds which upregulate chaperones, proteasome system, and autophagy. I will not go through the list in detail. This table lists some natural compounds that enhance clearance of protein aggregates. So far, I explained pharmacological intervention. However, non-pharmacological interventions is also necessary and important to manage neurodegenerative disorders. There are many diverse non-pharmacological interventions. Here I will mention just several of them. Reality orientation is to stimulate patients to talk about daily routines and recent events. Secondly, reminiscence therapy is stimulating the patient to recall the events from memories. Thirdly, light physical activities such as walking, trailing, light sports has been suggested as one of the basic methods of improving cognitive function, and it can undoubtedly improve the disease situation. Lastly, different methods like art, music, aromatherapy, meditations all gained attention in the field of non-pharmacological intervention of NDD management. The key point is stimulation of brain activities. The brain neurons keep their health if they are working. If not working, they degenerate. Meditation is especially effective in COVID-19 pandemic, which prevents us from meeting people. We need to get used to be alone or separate. The physical and social isolation is very stressful. The meditation is a very effective tool to reduce or overcome this mental stress. The mayor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, arranged free access to programs for mindfulness exercises, meditations, and sleep experiences, which are provided by Headspace, which is a meditation special company. Care farm or healing agriculture is another non-pharmacological intervention which promotes both patient health and rural economy. Care farm is started and well developed in Netherlands. Care farm is becoming a trick to solve both patient welfare and rural problems in the Netherlands. In South Korea, Healing Agriculture Program is launched March this year. The Ministry of Health and Welfare and Rural Development Administration systemized cooperation programs for the purpose of curing dementia and vitalizing rural areas. My country established dementia relief centers in every city, which will cooperate with the Rural Development Administration to promote care farms. In the care farm program, the participants, individually or in a small group such as a family or close friends, take care of crops, plants, or domestic animals. Not just a one-time event, but the caring can be continued for a long time. Such care program certainly helps participants' mental health. Also, the program contributes to the rural economy. Temple stay is another good example of non-pharmacological intervention for mental health. Temple stay is a unique cultural program in Korea which lets you experience the life of Buddhist practitioner at traditional temples. Generally, participants stay overnight or over the weekend in the temple. As you may know, Korean temples are usually located in the deep and high mountains, which provide subdued environment. In such environment, we can turn back to ourselves and think of ourselves, forgetting the ongoing lives in the city. Such environment and looking back to ourselves is very good for mental health. The program usually includes meditation, conversation over tea with monastics, and trailing. In summary, I illustrated some pharmacological and non-pharmacological interventions to combat NDD. However, NDDs are multifactorial diseases. Therefore, multidisciplinary approach is essential to cope with NDD, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic. I thank my laboratory members and National Research Foundation for research grants. Dia Fatima Octaviani is a PhD candidate student from General Soedelman University, your university. She is working on protein clearance. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Professor Ilsu. It's very interesting presentation, I guess, even though I think it's a bit hard for people who come from, let's say, animal science background. But at least I can catch up something that you presented or portrait multidisciplinary approach for the NDD dementia thing. So is there anything you would like to add, Professor Moon, to the audience? I haven't heard anything from your computer, Professor Moon. Maybe you haven't turned on the microphone?
I'm sorry. Can you hear
okay,
now?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It happens sometimes.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Is there anything you would like to add, Professor Moon, before we come to the discussion.
I would like to go back to my slide briefly.
Okay, yes.
Would you give me the control over?
Please transfer the control to Professor Moon. You might try, Prof.
Oh, sorry, maybe.
Yeah, while we are waiting for the Professor Moon to share screen, I think I would like to ask participants to give some questions, comments, or anything to Professor Moon. I think it's valuable time to have an expert in NDD dementia. Maybe most of us will experience this NDD, even though we don't want. I think nobody want it, but maybe some of us will experience during our lifetime. I haven't seen your screen, Prof Moon.
I cannot control the screen. I don't
Can you
think I
please
have.
transfer the host? Please try again, Prof.
Okay. Do you see my PPT slide?
Not
I don't
yet.
think so. Yeah,
Not yet.
something technical problem here. I cannot control. Anyway, I would like to explain a little bit about the neurodegenerative disease. Neurodegeneration means that, as I showed in one slide, the neurite extend out processes, two kind of processes called dendrite and axon. Those processes are shrinked by various causes like aging or lack of growth hormone, lack of growth factor, something like stress, something like those. And this degeneration, shrinking of the processes not occurring instantly. It takes long time to shrink down. And this is called degeneration. In contrast to other occasions like a stroke, under stroke condition, brain neurons die very rapidly. That's a traumatic event. In contrast to the traumatic event, neurodegeneration occurs very slowly as we go aging. That's the definition of neurodegeneration. And to keep the brain neurons alive, remember that the brain neurons, once generated during we are in the mom's womb, during the first 10 days of gestation, all brain neurons are generated. Then they survive along with our life, and they don't divide. So we have to be very careful to keep the neurons healthy. And there are so many reasons that causes neurodegeneration, but all the causes of the neurodegeneration generates protein accumulation in neuronal cells or outside of neuronal cells, which are toxic to brain cell. But the removal system of our neuron is very simple. So we need to focus on this mechanism to prevent from neurodegeneration. And for that purpose, having a healthy life, healthy thinking, and not keep away from a stressful life. That's very important. Okay.
Is there? Okay. I see from the chat box, Bu Tri Prihatina ask question how to prevent from such kind of disease, Prof Moon.
That's a really superb question. Everybody wants to know that. We cannot prevent neurodegeneration, and actually we cannot prevent it because the neurons live all through the lifetime. Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Because I think the neurodegeneration is normal aging, like muscle cells. We cannot keep muscles as strong as we are young. As you go age, our muscle system is weakened. The same, the brain neurons also weakens. The problem of brain neuron degeneration is that our mind is affected. But I think we cannot prevent from degeneration, but we can slow down the neuronal degeneration. The method to slow down the neuronal degeneration is, in one word, don't be under stress, and keep your healthy mind and healthy body. I think I can say only that.
Okay, thank you,
Did the answer?
Professor Moon. Yes, yeah, I think question is answered perfectly.
Okay.
We cannot prevent the disease, but we can slow down. That's the key point. So everybody should, slow down the process of dementia.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can only need to slow down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, slow down. Okay. There's another questions from Gregory Ascioli, if I pronounce it correctly. So he asks, in terms of non-pharmacological interventions, how important is the cultural background of the patient in the efficacy of the intervention? Does a temple stay work as well? Does temple stay work as well for a non-Buddhist as Buddhist? Oh, I think that's a second question. Another third one. I think I will let you answer the two questions first.
I think any intervention, sports, light sports, dancing, or temple stay, or care farm, any kind, which you like. I think that's the most important, which you like, and which you can have some mental relief, can be out of the daily city life, and the environment, which provide a very subdued, calm, and the environment where you can look back to you. Who am I? What am I doing? Something like that kind of thinking will relieve the stress, mental stress. I think that's very good for your health and good for your brain neurons.
Okay, there's another question from Gregory, the third one. Can you please spell the questions? Next, does the type of, I can see it, does the type of music that is used depend on the familiarity of the patient with that genre of music? For example, would Western classical music work to stimulate neuron activity for those who have never been exposed to it? Or one would find,
it should not be a stress, the learning or playing something. A little bit learning process is okay, but if it is too stressful, that damages the brain neuron too. So some kind of art, music, if you can put a little bit effort, then if you can accomplish something, then that's very good for your mental health. Otherwise, it will be a stress.
Yeah, so the point, I think, we should do something that amuse ourselves, whether music or anything else. Now, recently we have phenomena that women in here especially like to cultivate flowers, and the men do baking. I think those two also will help this NDD, right, Prof?
Okay, good, and a very good way of preventing NDD. They slow downing NDD.
Okay.
We Koreans, especially the retired men, goes into kitchen and cook, learn how to cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And another one from Bukratiana A. Wijayanti. The question is, today's daily life has forced people to rush, have less sleep, and tend to consume fast food.
Fast
Are
food.
those factors, are those factors contribute to NDD?
Oh, I actually don't know, and this is a question which is I should be very careful to answer, I think. Fast food, I don't know. It's if you go to, for example, McDonald's. I actually go almost every weekend with my wife, hand in hand, walk to close McDonald's. So, we enjoy the McDonald's food, fast food, but if you go too often, I think people say it's not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we still have time for Professor Ilsu? Yeah, I think one thing that I would like to highlight that the multidisciplinary approach of the prevention, I think the care farm in the Netherlands and the Korea and then the temple stay, a good example that we would like to probably imitate. I come from animal science background, and probably we oriented the production so far, milk, meat and stuff, but maybe in the future we'll switch from the production itself into care farm style like that to help the NDD patients.
Yeah, care farm is, of course, good for the participant, but also it boosts up the rural economy.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
There's another one coming from Ibu Siswandi Kastari, I guess, or Baba, I'm sorry. Don't worry, at the time we got that one, we will do forget anything. Isn't it, Prof? Oh, that means if we suffer or experience dementia, we will not feel suffered actually, so don't mind. Never mind, don't care, he said, I think. What do you say?
Yeah, the forgetting and not remembering well is also a normal process of aging. That's because the dendrite degenerate, and also before dendritic degeneration, the neural network is demolished, broken down, and because memories are recorded in the neural circuit, breaking down of the neural circuit by a degeneration of synapse or dendrite. Because those degeneration slowly goes on as a normal process, we cannot prevent from this. This is not a disease. Forgetting is a normal process. So just accept it. And we can slow down this process by living in healthy condition, under the not stressful conditions.
Okay.
Don't worry, this is not a disease.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. Soon. Yeah, I think even though the people who experience dementia or NDD do not feel suffered, but I think, as you mentioned, it somehow becomes the burden for the family or society too. So I think we should find some solution to relieve this situation for the dementia people.
Usually after age 65, the occurrence rate of the dementia goes rapidly. That's, I think, the normal aging. But the early onset dementia before age 65, that's diseases. That's caused by genetic defect. That we call Alzheimer's disease. But dementia at age 85, age 75, I think that's just normal. And let's accept it.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof Moon. I think that's very good presentation. I think we can look some thing that different angle from our background, different background to help overcome the situation for the NDD.
Okay, thank you very much,
again,
Chair.
Yes, thank you very much to have you here for the invited speakers in ICMA-SURE, the third one.
Okay, it's
And
my
I
pleasure.
think, yeah, thank you very much. I think we give a big applause online virtually to Professor Ilsu Moon from Korea. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I would like to move to the second speaker, Dr. Pan Yu. I would like to greet before give the opportunity for you to speak. I think apa kabar Bu Dr. Pan Yu?
Apa kabar Pak?
Baik, baik. Yeah, I should. Yeah, because when I think everybody should see your curriculum vitae. I think please host display. You experience in actually bahasa, some aspect of bahasa translation, visiting in some part of Indonesia, Jakarta, Bali. Yes, I would like to, before we get started, before you present your presentation, I would like to read some of your curriculum vitae. Dr. Pan Yu has 6 years experience in translation and interpretation of Bahasa Indonesia, and she translated approximately 3 million words, so probably more than the words that most of us have. Okay, and she translated 2 books, Chinese Indonesian and then Chinese Melayu. The educational background of Dr. Pan Yu, yeah, she finished the Bachelor of Bahasa Indonesia program, Prodi, yeah, in Peking University. So Universitas Peking, I should say, because this is Bahasa Indonesia.
Yeah.
Dr. Pan Yu, yeah. And in 2010, 2014, and then 2015, 2016 in Center for Strategy of International Studies visiting fellow, and then the Magister and PhD degree she got from the School of International Relations from University of Sun Yat-sen.
Yeah, Sun Yat-sen.
In 2014, 2019. And then I think she works now in the School of International Relations in Jinan University as associate professor. Correct, Dr. Pan?
Ya. Semuanya betul.
Ya, semuanya betul. Someday we would like to invite you as speaker in Bahasa.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the academic achievement of Professor Dr. Pan Yu, I think she wrote a paper entitled Indonesian Women in Terrorist Activities, an analysis from gender perspective in 2019. And then another paper, the construction of Dutch identity of Indos in Indonesia, causes, ways, and predicaments in the Journal of Southwest Minsu University. And then another one is the politication of China's outbound high-speed railway investment, the case of Jakarta-Bandung Railway. So without being further ado, I would like to give the opportunity to Dr. Pan Yu to give some presentation about omnibus law. Please, Dr. Pan Yu.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I will share my screen first. Wait a minute. This one. Can everyone see my PPT now?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Actually, I think a big honor to be here, and thank you for the University of General Sudirman, because this is my first time to give a presentation in a how to say international conference that is held by the University of Indonesia. That is my first time, because before that I often attend in the international conference held by Australia and America, something like that. And I think the topic we taught today is quite new, because President Jokowi just published the law at November the 2nd this month. So this is very new. So maybe there's something not very good enough in my presentation, and I hope everyone can point it out and make me better. Thank you. And let's begin. Here is some short background of me. And as mentioned that S1 saya is the Bahasa Indonesia. So if comparing present in English, actually I would think maybe present in Bahasa Indonesia will be easier for me, but I will try to conquer these things. And I just began to work more than 1 year, just 1 year. So maybe I was fresh new here. And this is my email. If you have anything, want to contact me, don't hesitate to contact me. And I will, I will say something about my university. Jinan University is located in Guangzhou, quite close to Hong Kong. And this university is quite special because in this university there is many foreign students, foreign students studying here. So this is very important for us to know what's going on about the world. And I just focusing on Indonesia. And if you have some time for the future after the pandemic, I hope we welcome you here in Jinan University. And here is some background. As I mentioned that President Jokowi just enacted the job creation law on November the 2nd. And I just finished the translation from Bahasa Indonesia to Bahasa Mandarin, just finished. So I did some research for the word desa, which means village, is this 104 times. And for the word petani, which means farmer, is this 9 times. And Malayan, which means fisherman, is this 42 times. And tanah, which means land, is this 170 times. And for the pertanian, which means agriculture, is this 47 times. Actually, it seems a lot, but if we comparing to the word city is this 185 times. So it seems, although the government give a lot of attention to the rural development, but it seems not enough for me. Okay, we began our presentation. And the research question for me is that the omnibus law on job creation really conducted to rural development. This is my research question. And I want to divide it into 3 parts. One is the opportunity one. Actually, law number 6, 2014 concerning village state, village-owned enterprises, which means BUDES, has not strictly written as a legal entity. However, in the job creation law, BOOMDES can have legal standing as a legal entity. This will have a tremendous impact on the development of BOOMDES as a village-owned enterprise. This can also provide convenience, protection, and empowerment to BOOMDES, as well as the micro, small, and medium enterprises to run business and facilitated investment in villages. Article 109 of the Job Creation Law also states that the establishment of individual limited liability companies can be carried out by BOOMDES and micro and small enterprises. Later, the individual limited company establishment will be given a fee waiver. In addition, in establishing micro, small, and medium enterprises, the licensing process is no longer needed. The micro, small, and medium enterprises players only need to register. Later, the government will provide incentives in the form of fee waivers for micro, small, and medium enterprises in registering. Not only that, processing halal certification will also be free. So this is the advantage of the job creation law for the rural development. However, according to my research, I think the bad side or the disadvantage of this law to the rural development is quite big. Actually, it's much bigger than the advantage. For example, the monopoly. First of all, is the BOOMDES suspects that this is deviation from the ways of the government embodies the noble idea of an advanced Indonesia that is sovereign, independent, with a personality state based on mutual cooperation through the passage of the job creation law. First of all is the spirit of village independence was subverted through the liberalization of BOOMDES. As the substance of the Article 1st, Paragraph 6, and Article 87 of Law Number 6 of 2004 concerning villages. BOOMDES are business entities that can be developed by the village where all or most of the capital is owned by the village in order to manage assets, service, and other efforts for to maximum welfare of the village community. By the job creation law, the substance of this article is removed from the percentage of capital ownership, so that capital ownership can be given to other parties, which results in the village being the object of capitalization by the private sector or outside investor, because in fact, control is no longer in the hand of village. The second thing is the cartel may be enter the village. In addition, Article 87 is added to Paragraph 4 concerning freedom for BOOMDES to form a legal entity business unit as needed. This allows investors or owners of capital and even cartels to expand their business on a wide scale by subverting or utilizing BOOMDES as a vehicle for capital penetration and exploitation for natural and human resources in rural areas, while the greatest profits do not return to the village. The third one is the foreign investment could be 100%. Previously, foreign investment for large-scale horticultural business can only limited to a maximum of 30% as in Article 100, Paragraph the 2nd of Law Number 13, year 2010 concerning horticulture. horticulture. In full, this article reads the amount of foreign investment is limited to a maximum of 30%. However, this rule is changed and the capital limitation is removed in the job creation law as stipulated in paragraph 1st. The central government encouraging investment in the horticultural business. Last but not least, the investor rule of micro and small scale business. In Article 48 of Law Number 13, year 2010, concerning horticulture, the classification of horticultural cultivation is related in the job creation law. Previously, this article mentioned 4 differences in the scale of business units, which means is micro, small, medium, and large scale of horticultural cultivation business unit. Differentiation in the classification of business unit can have an impact on why competition and monopoly can kill small-scale business. And for the corruption, we all know the corruption issue in Indonesia is quite severe. So after the passage of the job creation law, the corruption issue also exists too. First of all, is the rural spatial planning is muscled. Rural spatial planning can make it easier for village and villagers to identify maps of their resource wealth and make arrangements based on its benefit for continually for rural life. Be it in the form of land, water, biological wealth, natural agricultural land, historical sites, settlements, residents, public facilities, and other located in rural areas. Abolishing the article on rural spatial planning is the same as removing the potential of the village as an area. The absence of a village spatial plan can lead to conflicts of interest between the village and the village, and the village and the region, as well as between the residents and the private sector with an interest in natural and human resources in the village, which can harm the village and can further cause environmental damage, food insecurity, and loss of biological resources, as well as resource of village income. In addition, rural spatial planning is very important and useful for preparation of the village medium-term development plan, which ensure the sustainable benefits of developed results in rural areas are realized. The second one is the conversion of agricultural cultivation land can be easier. In addition to allowing the conversion of land that has been designated as agricultural cultivation land for reasons of public interest, as in the Article 19 of Law Number 22 of 2019 concerning the sustainable agricultural cultivation system. The job creation law actually adds that land conversion is allowed based on national strategy programs. If the conversion of functions for the public interest still requires conditions such as strategy studies, provision of replacement land, and so on, this does not apply to transforms based on national strategy project interests, as contained in the amendment of Article 19, paragraph the second. The third one is the agricultural land with a complete irrigation network can be used. Article 19, paragraph 4 of the Sustainable Agricultural Cultivation System Law still excluded land conversion in agricultural land locations that has already have a complete irrigation network. This regulation is amended in the creation law by allowing the transfer of function either for reasons of public interest or the existence of an international strategy project, provided that it maintains a complete irrigation network. The words in this article is very far-fetched to fool the people's understanding. Apart from these changes, it is important to note that it is a misguided thought by policymakers, which think that fulfilling national food, encouraging agricultural productivity, and striving for farmers' welfare are not strategy matters. Last but not least is the import of plant and animal seeds that do not meet quality standards. The obligation to meet quality standards in terms of the importation of plants, plant seeds, animals from abroad is also strictly regulated as in Article 44, paragraph the 2nd of the Sustainable Agricultural Cultivation System Law. However, by the Job Creation Law, the quality standard is obscured by replacing it with an editorial obliged to make the requirements only. So we come to the end is that I think we do not deny the positive thing or positive role for the law, but there is many potential factors affecting farmers and rural development, especially the corruption and monopoly. Can the Indonesian government review the relevant provision more carefully? For example, we all know that the farmers, the fishermen are also not very powerful in the development. If comparing the development of the city. So for these people, we need to pay more attention to them and to help them to upgrade their lives. However, according to this law, it seems that it is not good enough. And no matter how perfect the law is designed, there is no law enforcement, supervision, and implementation. There will be greater cooperation and monopoly. I think the law, when the law is implement in the process of that, the pengawasan or the supervision need to be strong enough to guide the actual work to fulfill the thing or the actual design of this law. And I think this is my presentation, and here is open for the questions. Thank you, and I'll give you back the screen control. Thank you.
Dr. Pan Yu for the presentation, great presentation. Yeah, it is related with our recent issue coming up with the omnibus law, and many critics coming from people, and also understand some of your critics relating with our omnibus law. That I think you read more than I do for the omnibus law itself. Okay, so we already have the question from my colleague Muhammad Soheh. He said, I've heard that people who commit corruption should be punished by death. Do you agree with this statement? In your opinion, to what extent a person who is corrupt should be punished by death? And then, how does your government treat corrupt people?
Actually, we all know that the corruption thing in China is quite strictly controlled, especially for these 10 years, maybe. There's many that is related to corruption is less than before. Especially when I was very young at that time, I see many things. But actually, in nowadays, in last 5 to 10 years, it seldom have happened. And I think for the corruption people, for those who is in Chinese, in Bahasa Mandarin is 大老虎, which means harimau yang besar. Actually, is very is a big corruptor. But how big is that? According to our law, it has some numbers, some exact amount of the corruption things. But I don't remember that. And I think for those people that, for example, is do harm to our do harm to our country. Why I constantly be strict? Okay. I think for those people it should be how to say how it should be punished by death. And I agree with this opinion. I hope I can answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, so death penalty for the corruption. Okay, another question from Gregory Asioli again. Are there any provision in RUU Cipta Kerja aimed at trying to prevent elite capture of BUMDes? That's okay. Later I will ask the second. Could you answer the first one?
Wait a minute.
Are there any provision?
It seems that because I just translated the how to say the undang-undang itself and the penjelasan. It's the two parts, and I all translated. And if I doesn't remember wrong, it seems that this didn't have an exact provision about the how to say the number to prevent the elite capture of the BUMDes. Maybe after, because the law itself will be followed by the peraturan pelaksanaan, something like that, to guide how to melakukan pelaksanaan undang-undang itself. So after that, maybe we can see some more detailed regulation about these things. But nowadays, from this time, I didn't see it. And are there any to seek the protection governments?
Are there any provisions that seek to protect the participatory governance provision of the 2014 Village Law?
Actually, I think it have. Actually, maybe it's no more than 13%, no more than 30%, if I didn't remember wrong. And or can this be overcome in the setting up of the enterprise in the village? I think this is very hard to say from this time, because after I translated the whole law, I think it has still many things that is not how to say written as very clear. I think many things is just some idea itself. It's not the law itself. For example, for the law, we need some more details and need some numbers to regulate for the amount, the extent, and something like that. But from the law itself, I can't see many details. It's just some big ideas. Okay.
So yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Panyu. So yes, it seems that you agree there will be some revision for the RUU Cipta Kerja itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if we have another questions. No, not yet. Okay, not yet. This is actually the big topic, interesting topic to discuss with someone who already read through all, I think, everything in the undang-undang itself, and we can follow and discuss with Dr. Panyu. But it seems people don't know. Okay. By the way, what time is in Huangzhou, Dr. Panyu? It's 11.
Yeah, almost 11.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How many time we have with Dr. Bayu? I think around 5 minutes actually. Is there anything you would like to emphasize regarding with the undang RUU or not RUU? It's already undang-undang Cipta Kerja that we have, Dr. Panyu.
Actually, I think the undang itself is very big. It's almost 1,020 pages, and it takes me half a month to translate it. In every day, I just want to membunuh diri karena terlalu lelah. Maybe every day I just sleep 3 or 4 hours a day to finish the translation. And after the big project, I think the idea, the very beginning, the idea of the law itself or the intention of the law itself is very good, is very positive. But you know, I'm a feminism. Feminism. There's many law related to the woman that is deleted. For example, before that, for the woman that is dalam bulan, but the first day and the second day they can ask for a leave. It's okay. That is written in the law before, but actually nowadays the regulation is delayed. And for the woman that have a baby, still give milk to the susu ibu to the baby itself, and the company should give facilitate to help them to how to say, I don't know how to say the words, but actually in the undang, the new undang, we don't have this regulation, and I think this is not good enough, especially for the woman. Because we nowadays we all know for the woman, it's not only just to finish the work at home. It have to work to gain more money to raise the family. That's the double rule for a woman. But it's actually comparing with the man is hard enough, and the law itself didn't give more protection or enough protection to the woman. I think this is a very upset thing for me, because I'm a feminism, and I hope after that, because maybe the law itself need to be reviewed in these few years. I think maybe this part can operate in a very big scale. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Panyu. I hope that your critics to this Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja will be heard by the government, and then yeah, they will use it for the revision for next term to make it better for people. Okay, again, thank you very much, Dr. Panyu, and yeah, I will someday see you in Purwokerto with bahasa Indonesia, not in English.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Yeah, big applause for Dr. Panyu. Okay, Bapak, Ibu, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, all participants, that now we are coming to the third speaker on the third plenary session of second day ICMA-SURE, the third ICMA-SURE today. We are having Dr. Wahyu, Medical Dr. Wahyu Iswandari from University of Jenderal Sudirman. And yes, her education background, she took in let me have my glasses. In 1996, she finished the medicine faculty from University of Diponegoro, and then the master degree from the same university, Diponegoro University, 2006, and then the PhD program in the Faculty of Medicine, University of Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta in 2015. And then from 2001, he works for the University of Jenderal Sudirman. And then professional experiences, 2009, 2013, she was the head of clinical pathology laboratory installation at Margono General Hospital, Purwokerto. And then 2010, 2013, head of PPI Margono Soekarjo General Hospital. And then the vice dean of the FKIK-UNSUD, 2013 and 2014. 2014-2019 become Vice Dean of Academic Affairs in the Medicine Faculty of University Jenderal Sudirman. And the publication, she wrote some papers published in 2018, computer-aided diagnosis for screening the shape and size of leukocyte cell nucleus based on morphological image. And then 2019, Mensured Index Diagnostic Value in Predicting Thalassemia Diagnosis. And then some others, and then the last publication, I don't know how do you read it, CD60 GTG GAG, if I read it in mathematical term, bigger than, but I don't think so. This gene Cagliari mutation was found in scanning of beta thalassemia alleles from patient of East Kalimantan, Indonesia. Without being further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Wahyu to give some presentation as the last but not least speaker of today's session. Please, Dr. Wahyu.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I will share my screen. Wait. Okay, can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First, thank you to the committee for inviting me to be one of the speakers. And then, good morning, webinar attendees. Nice to meet you, all of you. I hope all of you are in good health at this pandemic situation, and thus we can follow this webinar well. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? We will discuss about COVID-19 laboratory examination, a challenge in rural areas. And this is our outline, introduction. Then we will take up about sign and symptom, laboratory and PCR examination in COVID-19, as well the challenge in rural areas. As we know, at the end of December 2019, it was reported a new beta coronavirus infection in Wuhan, China. And in February 2020, WHO is assigned the name of virus as severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2, and the name of disease of coronavirus disease 19 or COVID-19. And on 11 March 2020, WHO said COVID-19 as a pandemic. Since then, the COVID-19 incident rate has continued to increase both in the world and in Indonesia, including in Banyumas Regency. Okay. This slide shows morbidity and mortality rate in Indonesia. Central Java Province, and Banyumas District. The data taken on November 12. And in Indonesia, COVID-19 is spread across 34 provinces, and Central Java occupying the 4th place. And you can see that in Banyumas District, 939 positive cases was found, then 761 recovered, and 26 died. This based on data on November 12. Okay. And as we know, COVID-19 has many signs and symptoms depending on the organ being attacked. Therefore, COVID-19 is often referred to as a disease with 1,000 phases. This is because many organs have receptor for SARS-CoV-2, namely H2 receptor. You can see that the organs that have H2 receptor are respiratory tract, including nasal and lung, then ileum, heart, eye, liver, brain, bladder, and other organs. Okay. This slide shows the various signs and symptoms that occur in COVID-19 patient. Fever, then cough, respiratory problem, and fatigue are common symptoms. Moreover, disorder in the digestive tract like nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain, then sore throat, headaches, and myalgia are also often found. In addition, anosmia is a symptom that has recently been reported in COVID-19 patients. Anosmia is loss of the sense of smell. But besides that, there are also COVID-19 patients who do not show symptoms, which we call asymptomatic patients. Okay. And the diagnosis of COVID-19 is enforced through anamnesis or history examination, then physical examination, and supporting examination, including laboratory examination. This is a laboratory test in COVID-19 modality, can be used for screening, diagnostic, monitoring, predict the prognosis, then surveillance purposes, and contact tracing. Okay. Laboratory examination in COVID-19 can be classified on the type of test, namely hematological test, then clinical chemistry, seroimmunological test, and molecular test. Several test parameters will be discussed in this session, including hemoglobin level, then absolute lymphocyte count, neutrophil lymphocyte ratio, platelet count, D-dimer level, CRP level, and detection of NAAT with PCR or with TCM. Okay. One of the goal of laboratory test in COVID is the COVID-19 early warning. The parameter that can be used is neutrophil lymphocyte ratio. As seen on the slide, this is a COVID-19 early warning score where NLR is one of the points for calculating score, with NLR ratio is more than 5.8. And a patient will be suspected of having COVID-19 if the total score is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, next slide. There have been many studies on laboratory examination in COVID-19 disease. In general, research compare the result of examination in COVID and non-COVID patients. Several studies has compared the result of laboratory tests in patients with COVID between severe and mild symptoms. So, that this parameter can be used to predict disease severity. As seen on the slide, study by Guan et al. That compare laboratory parameters in severe and non-severe COVID-19. And we can see that there are significant differences in several parameters, including the number of leukocyte count, lymphocyte, and platelet count, also the level of hemoglobin, CRP, and D-dimer. Another study by Gao et al. And Fu et al. Also show similar result. You can see yourself. Okay. Besides that, laboratory tests can also be used to predict mortality, such as the result of Zhao study, which show differences in laboratory result between COVID-19 patients who survive and not survive, including hemoglobin level, platelet count, prothrombin time, level of LDH, and D-dimer. Based on the result of this study, laboratory parameters can be used to help diagnosis COVID-19 can be summarized. This parameter consists of, the first, generally decrease of hemoglobin level. Then red cell distribution weight usually increase, especially in patients with severe disease. The number of leukocytes can be normal or increase. Then absolute lymphocyte count will decrease in case of COVID-19, with the number of lymphocytes is less than 1,500 per microliter. If the lymphocyte count is less than 600 per microliter, it is a predictor that the patient will be admitted to the ICU. Another laboratory parameter that can be used to predict COVID-19 is neutrophil lymphocyte ratio, and the aggregate cutoff was 3.13, and on COVID-19, the NLR value was more than 3.13. If the NLR value is more than 3.13 plus the age is more than 50 years old, then this can predict disease severity. Okay. The platelet count is also a laboratory parameter that can be used to predict the occurrence of COVID-19. The number of platelets will decrease, means the platelet count of COVID-19 sufferers was lower than healthy control. And the platelet count was lower in severe cases of COVID-19 than in mild case. The next parameter is D-dimer. There is a hemostasis abnormality in COVID-19, and one of the parameters that can be used to predict is D-dimer. D-dimer level increased higher in COVID-19 patient than in the control group, in severe than mild cases, and in those who did not survive than those who survived. High level of D-dimer at admission and very high increasing during hospital stay were associated with mortality. D-dimer level more than 1 microgram per millimeter on admission to the hospital was a risk factor for death, with an odds ratio of about 18. Okay. The next parameter is CRP, or C-reactive protein. CRP is an acute phase protein which increases rapidly in response to infection. So it can be used as a marker for COVID infection. CRP increased significantly at the initial state in severe COVID-19 patient, while still no significant difference in the CRP score were found between the severe and mild group. CRP increased more than 10 milligram per liter in all patients. The mean of CRP was 20-30.5 in the critical group of patients. And the increased CRP level are associated with the lung lesion and disease progression. Okay. This table shows the relationship between laboratory parameters that have been discussed with the pathophysiology of COVID-19 in adult patients obtained from various studies. As example, the level of CRP, when the increase is due to effect of inflammatory cytokine, and higher level associated with severity, lack of improvement, and bacterial superinfection. Okay, this slide reveals schematic overview of key laboratory characteristics during SARS-CoV-2 infection. It can be seen the course of the disease from onset of symptom, and laboratory parameter that can be used to see the development of the disease. Okay. And these are the IFCC interim guidelines on biochemical and hematological monitoring of COVID-19 patients. Several parameters have been discussed previously, including the tests recommended by the IFCC, both hematological and biochemical tests. Okay. WHO recommend molecular testing for all patients suspected of being infected with COVID-19. The recommended method is the molecular detection method, or NAAT, nucleic acid amplification test, such as the RT-PCR and PCM examination. Results show that the PCR sensitivity is 71%, and the positivity rate is influenced by the type of specimen used. This table shows the different type of specimen used in PCR examination and their positivity rate. It can be seen that the commonly used nasal specimen have a positivity rate of 63%. Okay. And shown in this table are the swab time based on guideline issued by the Ministry of Health. Swab were performed on day 1 and 2 for diagnosis, then swab done on day 7 to assess recovery, and subsequent swab depending on clinical condition. The target gen examined in PCR consists of E gen, then N, ORF, S gen, depending on the reagent used. And the specific gen for SARS-CoV are N and ORF. This slide shows the interpretation of PCR examination, result consisting of positive, negative, presumptive, or inconclusive, then an invalid result. This interpretation also depends on the reagent used. So, what are the challenges in laboratory testing for COVID-19 in rural areas? As stated earlier, PCR examination is the gold standard for diagnosis of COVID-19. But the availability of PCR tool in Banyumas district is very limited. There are only 3 centers that have PCR tool, including Jenderal Sudirman University Research Laboratory, Margono Soekaryo Hospital, and Wijaya Kusuma Hospital. The limited number of PCR device induce the examination to be hampered. As shown in the data, there are a number of samples waiting to be examined. You can see this data is taken from the all record report. This accumulation of unchecked sample will lead the prolongation of turnaround time. Okay. So what we can do? What can be done in primary healthcare and in hospital that do not have PCR equipment? We can combine anamnesis, physical examination, and routine laboratory tests to predict a diagnosis of COVID-19. The flowchart as shown is the inspection flow according to Yang et al. It's used the sign and symptom combined with laboratory routine to predict diagnosis of COVID-19. Okay. If there is a patient with or without COVID symptom, accompanied by history of contact and travel from the red zone, then look at the CBC result or complete blood result, including hemoglobin level, then number of leukocyte, number of lymphocyte absolute, neutrophil lymphocyte ratio, number of platelet, and CRP level. You can see in this table, and almost all primary health center and all hospital have a hematology analyzer, so that the result of the CBC examination can be seen. Okay, hemoglobin, then leukocyte, total lymphocyte count, and neutrophil lymphocyte ratio, and level of CRP.
I'm sorry, Bu Wahyu, you have 5 minutes left. Okay.
But the most important thing is what can we do as a society? We must each do our part. Some action that can be taken according to WHO recommendation are: avoid crowded places and limit time in enclosed space, maintain at least 1 meter distance from others. When possible, open windows and doors for ventilation. Then keep hands clean and cover cough and sneeze. Always wear your mask when you go outside your home. And if you are unwell, stay home unless to seek urgent medical care. And remember that the war against COVID-19 is not over yet. So please be sportive, be careful, be alert, be kind, and be ready to fight COVID-19. Okay, thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bu Dr. Wahyu. Yeah, the war is not yet over, so we should get prepared for everything that might come to ourselves. We have already a question from Pak Slamet Roshadi. The question is, what about type of blood? Whether those who have type of O blood is more immune than others. So yeah, is there any specific blood type that is more immune, yes, to COVID?
Sorry, I can. Okay, stop here. Okay, sorry, Pak.
Is there blood type related or affected the immunity for COVID-19?
Okay. I ask your permission to answer the question in bahasa, gitu ya, so I can explain well than in English. Yeah. Beberapa penelitian menunjukkan bahwa golongan darah itu memang berpengaruh terhadap sistem imun. Salah satu yang dianggap mempunyai sistem imun yang lebih baik itu adalah golongan darah O. Mengapa seperti itu? Itu dikarenakan karena di golongan darah O itu sel B gitu ya. Jadi ada sel limfosit B, limfosit T itu mempunyai respon yang lebih baik terhadap infeksi dibandingkan dengan golongan darah yang lain gitu. Jadi berdasarkan hal itu dikatakan bahwa golongan darah itu mempunyai perbedaan respon imun terhadap terutama infeksi. Mungkin begitu, Pak. Selamat terus Adi.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Dr. Wahyu. But it doesn't mean that we can get exposed even though we have all blood type, right, Bu Dr.
Yes.
Okay, there is another one from Pak Haryadi, Sociology Unsud. Bu Wahyu, do you think central government should make it mandatory to wear mask?
Okay, I ask ini bahasa satu ya. Okay. Jadi sebetulnya gitu ya, sebetulnya di aturan itu sudah disebutkan gitu ya bahwa kita itu memang harus menggunakan masker pada saat kita itu keluar. Kemudian pada saat kita itu sedang sakit gitu ya, dan pada saat kita itu berkumpul. Nah, hanya apakah penggunaan masker ini nanti tidak digunakan atau tidak digunakan itu apakah ada implikasi secara hukum itu terus terang saya tidak tahu. Sampai sejauh ini itu belum pernah ada maksudnya dari pusat gitu ya, dari pusat itu punishment untuk yang tidak menggunakan masker. Saya terus terang mengacungi jempol kepada bupati kita gitu ya, Bupati Banyumas yang berani mengeluarkan perda tentang penggunaan masker salah satunya di dalamnya. Jadi kalau ada yang terkena swab pada saat tidak menggunakan masker, maka dia akan didenda gitu ya, dan biasanya itu langsung dilakukan swab untuk pemeriksaan PCR. Tapi kalau untuk yang dari pemerintah pusat, apakah itu mandatori atau tidak, saya terus terang tidak tahu. Mungkin para ahli hukum di sini itu ada yang bisa membantu, apakah memang selama ini ada aturan yang mengatakan seperti itu. Kalau dari Kementerian Kesehatan, iya, memang harus menggunakan masker, dan yang saya tahu dari Kabupaten Banyumas itu ada perdanya untuk menggunakan masker, jika tidak akan dilakukan denda. Gitu. Mungkin begitu, Pak Moderator.
Thank you very much, Bu Dr. Wahyu. Okay, before we have another question, we still have time for Bu Wahyu, right? I saw in your presentation that the lab for COVID is able to predict mortality. In what stage, Bu Dr. Wahyu, the ability to predict mortality for the patient?
Oke, jadi beberapa penelitian itu membandingkan antara pasien COVID yang hidup dan meninggal, gitu. Nah, di situ dilihat beberapa parameter laboratorium yang ternyata berbeda bermakna antara pasien yang hidup dengan yang meninggal. Nah, parameter-parameter yang bisa digunakan itu adalah tadi yang sudah kita bahas tadi. Ada jumlah leukosit yang menurun, kemudian jumlah limfosit absolut, kemudian rasio neutrofil limfosit itu yang meningkat. Kemudian salah satu yang banyak digunakan sebagai prediktor itu adalah kadar D-dimer. Karena ternyata memang kadar D-dimer ini kalau dia itu meningkat tinggi gitu ya pada saat dia di awal dan selama di awal dia masuk rumah sakit dan selama dia perawatan, itu kemungkinan dia meninggal itu jauh lebih tinggi dibandingkan yang kadar D-dimernya itu tidak meningkat seperti itu. Jadi berdasarkan adanya perbedaan bermakna beberapa parameter antara yang meninggal dan yang hidup, itu disimpulkan bahwa beberapa parameter lab itu bisa digunakan untuk memprediksi mortalitas dari pasien COVID-19. Begitu, Pak Moderator.
Thank you very much, Bu Dr. Wahyu. It's interesting, actually, this discussion, but because the time is limited, so we can no longer have further discussion with Bu Dr. Wahyu. So again, appreciate very much for your being here, for presentation here, Bu Dr. Wahyu, and give big applause for Bu Dr. Wahyu.
Thank you.
And now time, I will give it back to the MC.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak. Have another round of applause by clicking the clapping icon on Zoom. Di situ ada di bagian reaction kanan bawah kalau tidak salah. Ayo klik, and then Okay, and then we can give our speakers and also our moderators big applause by clicking the clapping icon on Zoom. Thank you again. And before we go to the next session, the committee will hand certificates for our 3 great speakers today, Professor Ilsu Moon, Professor Panyu, sorry if I pronounced the name incorrectly, and to Ibu Dr. Wahyu Siswandari, and also for our moderator, Bapak Dr. Agus Susanto. Thank you so much. And as scheduled in the program book, after this we will have a parallel sessions, and I think you have had the link from the committee, and we do hope that you will present your paper better than yesterday if this is your second day of your presentation. And after this, I will see you again in the closing ceremony. Have a wonderful presentations, everyone. See you.
Nah, menjadi penting sekali. Jadi tolong ke depan jangan dibiarkan untuk monaf ini data memang tolong Bapak Ibu untuk dipantau, didampingi. Komisi data itu tolong dipantau, didampingi. Kita ada fakultas dalam angka online. Fakultas dalam angka yang sekarang sudah mengcover kebutuhan IKU, Bapak Ibu. Sudah mengcover kebutuhan IKU. Besok kemarin sudah disebutkan.